uh, core component. Uh, by default, I says like smart console. In a console, we see only right now we are only talking about SD. There are different components like smart view tracker, right? Smart view monitor. I will tell you about this in later classes. But right now, when you say smart console, there is one component called smart dashboard, and there is another component called smart manager, or you can say the security management, and one is security gateway. It is actual firewall. Okay. So I'll tell you that SM is containing our databases, right? And SG, when you say SC or SD, these are like console, so you can say that SD. So I'm just ignoring this one and taking SD, okay? Because this need to be connected to the SM. So when you say smart dashboard, you just need to when you log in to the smart board, you need an SM IP and its username and the password. When you open that username, when you open that IP and this, it actually invoke that database and open a window for the database, and where you define the policies like creating any object and defining any policies, any IPsec, VPN rules. When you define that policy and when you save that policy, it actually saving that policy in this SM database. And when you install that policy to any firewall, it means that database is converted into a script, and that script is to be installed on that firewall, right? This this way, the firewalls know about what are the different policy. When you say script, it is like creating an ACL type and defining that on the SG or the firewall, so that they can intercept and deny the traffic based on the policies defined on the firewall. So you can say that there are three components that when you are installing any type of uh, firewall components or any type of policies, we need at least three components. One is SD, one is SM, and one is SG. By default, as when we invoke, or you can say that when you open SM from SD, it is invoking a process called FWM. It is, you can say that the FWM process is the main process of SM. For SG, it is called FWD process, which is like providing like firewall daemon, and this is like FWM, firewall management daemon. These are the daemons that are basically the core component of these two different SM and SG modules. When you say SM, so when you open any database from a smart dashboard, it use backend the CPMI protocol, checkpoint management interface protocols. It invoke that particular process. Okay, I want to open a database of SM, right? So these CPI protocols invoke that particular FWM process, and this FWM process use the different database, use that database file and then open it to the SD. So you can say that in the backend, SD uh, uses CPMI protocols to invoke FWN so that it can open that SM database and define the policy and then save the policy. When the policy has been saved, the database here is not like you can say that the SQL database or any stuff. It is like a flat files. Okay, and like I will tell you that there are different files. Flat files means it does not like it is. You cannot say it is like SQL. Okay, it is having some files like uh, rule base dot 5.0 dot c, fw auth dot ndb, and same where for objects 5.c. It means these are three important files, or you can say the three important database information where these are correlated and open in the uh, smart dashboard. So when you say rule base, it means all the policies have been installed in this particular file. When you say about the user objects, this is installed in the fwauth.ndb files. I will show you in later, but I'm just trying to say it is like database is not like a SQL database, it is like a flat files. Object.c file contain all the object we are creating in the firewalls. So ultimately, when you say SD using a CPMI protocols, invoke that FWM process. FWM open this particular these, like you can say that mostly like these three files and shown to uh, the administrator using an SD window. When you define the policy, it means, or any creating any new object and then saving, it means you are saving it to the particular files. Okay, so it is like how these communicating between communication between the SD and SM. When you are using a distributed models, in distributed models, it means you are installing SD and SM on two different standalone devices. And when you are installing two different standalone devices, it means they do not know each other until unless you define that particular firewall in SM as a in its database, right?
Right.
What my point is?
Yeah.
So when you say we need to define an SG, it means the SG can be any firewall, whether it could be first from the single SM, you can manage multiple firewalls. But to log into that particular subnet manager, we need an SD. Suppose we have 10 customers and 10 customer means 10 different customers. Okay, and in these 10 customers, they have their own. You can say that 2 or 3 firewalls. So you can say that you need a 10 SM and 10 SM means they can manage their own firewall. So let's say you have 20 firewalls for 10 customers, right? You need to log in from SD to SM 10 times to manage these 20 firewalls. But if you have a provider one, you need to log into the provider one and manage 20 firewalls. Okay, from a single console.
So I thought SM and provider ones are same, no?
No, SM is not provider. Yeah, you can say that. SM, when you say provider one, it is taking a responsibility of SM, but from single window. Got my point or not?
Yeah, so we mentioned in the beginning that security manager is same as provider and one.
No, 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 no.
Okay.
When I say it is like an SD, I define SD, ANSOM, and SG, right? So let's say this is my first customer, okay,
Mhm.
and another customer is also having the same step SD, SM, and SG. If I'm an administrator managing two different customers, what I have to do is I have to open a SD in my laptop and the logging to the SM and then manage these firewall. For the second time, I need to close this and open this and manage this firewall. In provider one, you are replacing this one, placing a provider one here, then this SM integrate with provider one, this SM integrate with the provider one, and from the same window you can manage both firewalls. Okay?
Okay. So provider one software will reside on your laptop?
Yes, it is like not. It is any component that you can install. You need a server first. Okay,
Okay.
to install a provider one.
There's another piece you mentioned last time is called Smart Dashboard, which you install in your laptop.
That is laptop. Yes. In that case, when you use a provider one, in this case, SD used to connect to the provider one, not to the single management.
Okay.
Okay, and this subnet is in this server provider, you are like you can say that you are integrating your SMs, so that you this particular SD need not to log into the SM individually. You just need to log into the provider. Provider will know about all SMs and the all firewalls. You can manage it from here. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So this way you can see that.
So
Okay.
when you connect from your laptop, because in your laptop, basically, let's say I'm the checkpoint administrator, right? And my job is to basically manage different clients. So, and my company has 20 different firewalls.
No,
So,
there, so okay, okay. You say 20 different firewalls, and you are having single customer, right? You are managing single customer or multiple customers?
multiple customers.
When you say multiple customers, do And I suppose when you say multiple customer, it means that they have different SMs their own, right? And each SM, you can say that each customer having their two firewalls. One is like corporate and one is in branch. Okay. If you do not use any provider one, it means you are using SD. Okay, and SD is in my laptop. So if I need to manage single customer, I need to log into the this particular SM and do the policy and install the policy and then close. If you want to manage this particular customer, I need to close this one first and then open this as a server manager and then manage this one. But in case of the provider one, we have installed one server, or you can say that any server on the provider one. Okay, in the provider one, you just integrating this one, these SMs to this provider one as a third server, and then you connect SD to this one and do not need to log in separately to the different customer. It is like uh, different slices within a provider one for the different customer. They have the different domains. Okay.
So that means Checkpoint still sells provider one software?
Yes, but name has been changed to Smart Domain Manager (SDM).
Oh, okay.
Now it is called Smart Domain Manager.
Mhm.
Okay. In the legacy, or you can say that the customer do not, I think it is with R71 and above, they use this terminology. But if it is like R65 and the R70 setup, I think they still using provider ones.
Right, right. Because I remember the one I worked was R65.
Yeah, and the R65 they are using the provider ones.
Yeah.
Okay. When I think they launched the Gaia operating system, they changed the terminology for the provider one to R77.
Mm.
Oh, the Smart Domain Manager. It is like when you say Smart Domain Manager, it means SM is like domain managing one domain, or you can say the one customer. And when you say Smart Domain Manager, each customer has its own domain, so multiple domains can be managed from the single console. That is called provider one. Okay.
Okay.
Got my point. But again, like it is need Gaia type of operating system and install one component, that is provide SDM. Okay. I have shown you the screen. When first time you install option, it will ask whether you want to install the security gateway or security management, and there is an option like Smart Domain Manager. Okay. The
Okay.
second option, when you open this one, it means you are installing provider one, or you can say the Smart Domain Manager. Okay,
Okay.
not this one. Okay, got my point here.
Yes.
So understand what are the different process involved between SD and SM. SD use CPMI protocol to invoke FWM. FWM process try to fetch all the database files and give it to the SD so that it can be shown in our dashboard. Okay.
Mhm.
Now, how the communication happens between our SM and SG. When you are installing SM and SG on the standalone device, okay, so you are means we have only single server and we are installing two modules in the single server. So we do not need to define any type of any type of firewalls within that particular SM, because SMs know that SG component and SM component installed on the same, so they internally exchange the certificates. When you say the certificate, SM need to communicate to SG using certificates to provide like authentications type of stuff, so that they know that they know each other. You know the architecture of PKI, public key infrastructure, where if I need to trust you, it means both of us is using the same certificate from the certificate authority servers, right?
Right.
So same way, when you are installing SM and SD on the same component, it is means they are exchanging their certificate. But again, who is that providing the certificate, right? Because we have not provided any certificate CA servers while defining our SM and or SG, right? By default, SM, the security management, having their component called ICA, Integrated Certificate Authority. Okay, it is called the root CA within the checkpoint. So when you install SM, this particular component is also installed in SM. So first time when you say install the SM component, this component is automatically installed. You do not see an option when you are installing an SM, but when you log into to the SM, I will show you where this component is. So when you say SM, when you're installing SM, it means this particular integrated CA is also installed, and they assign the self-signed certificate to itself to become a root CA. And when you are defining SG in SM, okay, means when you're defining firewall in the database of SM, it means it is first sending a certificate or assigning a certificate to this one, and after assigning a certificate to this one, they make a secure communication, so that any communication between SM and SG, right, use uh, you can say that the encrypted session, so that they can pass that information, because it could be possible that SM is on, you can say that the data center, and you are managing SG on branch. So you do not want to send any information on the internet using a clear text. So by default, it uses the encrypted session when installing any type of pushing any type of firewall policies to SG, but they need to trust each other. For the trusting for SM and SG to trust each other, they need to use certificate-based authentication. For the certificate-based authentication, it need like who is my root CA type of stuff. Either you can use external CA, but you need to install that certificate on the both SM and the SG. So when you are deploying anything, so the best way is use the internal CA, so that you do not have to worry about the certificate type of errors, right? Because when you are using a different external CA, then you need to use like what are my intermediate CA, what is my root CA certificate. So this type of stuff is you can eliminate if you are using an ICA. So when you are installing, when you are you can say that when you are sorry, when you say SM is installed an ICA component, and here it assign a self certificates certificate to itself, and it because it is a root CA. So when you are defining SG in that particular SM, it is like exchanging a certificate with it is sending a certificate to this one, and so they can trust each other. When they are installing a policy, it means they are making a secure tunnel between SM and SG, so that any traffic that is any database information and the firewall policy that we are pushing, that need to be gone through that secure tunnel. And this, when you are doing this type of stick like certificate invoke and all this, the process involved in between is called CPT, that is installed, or you can say the daemon running on the both SM and SG. CPT is the process that is, when you say exchanging the certificate in SM and SG, this process is called SIC process. What it means secure is like secure intercommunication. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So when you say SIC, when you are exchanging any certificate or any type of communication that is happening between this is called SIC, and SIC is rely on CPT process. If the CPT process is not running on this, then it means like SIC, you cannot install the policies from SM to SG, right? So we need to make sure that the CPT daemon is running on both SM and SG. So what we have covered till now, we have SD, we have SM, we have SG. SM is ICA is a component. SM also having the process called FWM. There is a process called FWD. I will talk to you about this in a little bit, in like minute. And SG there is a process called CPD, and SM also there is a process called CPD. Here it use the CPMI protocols to invoke FWM, and the SM will give the database files, or you can say the database to the SD. When when you are defining SG in SM, it means it use the ICA to exchange the certificate, and so that they can make they can trust each other. When you are use the when they are trusting each other, it means they are making a secure intercommunication, and the secure intercommunication requires the CPT process between these two different components, like security management in this. But let's suppose you have secure communication established. Now you want to push the policies. When you push the policies from because we are pushing it from the console of this one, but actually that push is from SM, because we are just taking a database on SD, right?
Yeah.
So when you're pushing the policy to SD, it is like it is installing or it you can say that it invoke the process called FWD daemon. That this is the main firewall daemons which should be running if the firewall need to process all the traffic, right? If that particular daemon is like stopped, it will not act as SG, right? The traffic will not be processed because it does not recognize what other policies has been installed. So like these are the three main process components involved uh, behind the scenes when the checkpoints works. So when you say SD, use CPMI to invoke FWM. The FWM process use database and then send it to the SD. SM having their own integrated ICA. So when you are defining SG to SM, it's exchanging the certificate so that they can trust each other. After trusting each other, when you're pushing the policy, it is like sending the policy over secure intercommunication. And this six certificate is like assigning a certificate to the SG. Okay. By default, when you install SM, they assign a certificate itself because they have the component called ICA. So all the communication between the SM and SG is over secure communication, and the process involved is CPD. So, and when you install the policy, it means you are using the FWD. Now, by default, SM is also called the log server. Okay. So all the logs is been saved on this particular server. As SG does not save log by default. Okay, until unless you mentioned in your configuration. So any packet that comes and you have mentioned you need to log, that SG will send this information to log servers that is installed within a SM. Okay, so any logs that comes to SG send to the log server, right? The firewall process that is intercepting this all security rules and the rules, this process will send the logs to FWD daemons on SM. This FWD daemon does not relate it with the SG FWD daemons, because this FWD daemons is only for, you can say, that the log servers information. This is only this is like doing anything for the security perspective. This is only to collect the log server information. When you have the logs here, you need a different console called Smart View Tracker. Okay, have you heard about the Smart View Tracker?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, then Smart View Tracker use the same CPMI and open that log files. Okay, so basically the funda is SD is to manage the database. Okay, ST is to use to log servers. But how these log finds? They use the FWD process and connect to this FWD process. Okay, so all the logs are comes to the SM, or you can say that all the log files are being installed on, or file created on SM. These files can be used by ST to view the logs. But again, ST use the CPMI to invoke that particular FWD process so that they can provide you the log file. Got
So,
my?
yes, a Smart View Tracker
Yes.
is the software installed in your laptop?
Yes, like when I say is when you are installing a smart console, okay, it has different components. One is SD, one is ST, one is SM, smart dashboard, smart view tracker, smart management. These all components are installed on your laptop.
Sorry, what is SC? Okay, Smart Console, right?
So smart console is like a bigger term defined. You can say that when you are having multiple different consoles in checkpoint, they call a single name called smart console. Within a small console, there is a different uh, softwares like smart dashboard, smart tracker, smart security manager.
Okay.
Just give me a minute, I will show you there. Different SG and SM component.
Yes.
SC, sorry, SC, I'm in SC, I'm just taking an SD. Okay, I'm not talking about Smart View Tracker. Smart View Tracker involves when the log file need to be opened. Okay, so and Smart View Monitor when you want to see the performance and the different statistics. Okay, so in within SD, SC, I'm taking about SD. But again, when you say SC connect to SM, SG, they all use CPMI in the backend. Okay.
Okay.
So, got my point here. To So what we had covered is like what is ICA? ICA integrated CA that's installed within SM. SC we have taken one component like SD, and SG is our main firewalls. SC and SG they know each other by using a SIG communication like exchanging a certificate, right? I will tell you about what it is. Uh, so use PKI to authenticate and provide the secure communication. So whatever the information that I have mentioned here, we all covered in theory, right?
Yeah.